Hello, I am in my pajamas. I just recorded a different video and I'm here to talk about skincare now. So, don't at me when I wear the same exact set of pajamas in a different video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and today we're going to be talking about something that is really hard for a lot of people with ADHD, which is skincare. Skincare tends to be difficult for people with ADHD just because we're not great at routines. A lot of times for us to be able to do something on a daily basis, we have to remember it and do it every single day. It's not like something our body will automatically do. So because of that, skincare is something that can often go by the wayside, but it's really, really important and it's something that I personally care a lot about. So I thought I would come in here and talk a little bit about this. Just a quick disclaimer though, I am not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, anything like that. Most of the information I've gotten has come from either Dr. Dre or Hiram. So this is just what works for me. And I'm not really suggesting these products to you. I'm suggesting that you use this routine and fill it in with products that work well for your skin type. Because honestly, when it comes down to it, like, I'm a white girl with combination skin, and someone who is Filipino and has dry skin is going to have a completely different experience with their skin than me. Honestly, you're just going to need different products for that. So this is just a way for you to kind of get an idea of what works well for the ADHD brain and then build your routine from there. Secondary disclaimer, I do use a couple of products that have been prescribed to me by a dermatologist. The reason for this was, so I was having a lot of trouble out of nowhere. I never really had acne as a teenager. At least I would get like a few pimples here or there, and then when I got into my later 20s, I guess my hormones changed or something, and that completely changed how my skin is and works. Like, I used to never get acne, and I also used to never wash my face or moisturize it, and now that is not the case. So just also keep in mind that sometimes you might have to change these things seasonally or even as your skin changes as you get older, but this is a very basic routine that someone with ADHD can easily replicate and do in their day-to-day. I would say that I do like a lot of the products that I use, and a lot of them are fairly affordable and accessible. So if you like the products that I'm talking about, these are something you can try, especially if you do tend to have combination skin. And I'll talk a little bit about certain things because I'm going to talk about sunscreen, and sunscreen comes with like a whole other layer of the fact that sunscreen comes with a whole layer of, if you have a darker skin tone, a lot of times the sunscreens that have a white cast will not work as well for you, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that and hopefully provide some resources for you to find a sunscreen that works well for you. That being said, here's my suggested routine that I have come up with that works pretty well for my ADHD brain. First things first, morning. Morning is going to be super, super simple, and it's all about putting on sunscreen. First, I don't mind the bottle might be a little bit dirty because it's been sitting on my countertop for a really long time, and I put it in the shower as well. Anyway, that's not the point. So this is just the hydrating facial cleanser, and I used to use the CeraVe salicylic acid cleanser. The reason I switched was because of one of the products I got from the dermatologist. It was drying my skin out quite a bit, so I needed something that hydrated me a little bit more, which is why I switched to this. This is fragrance free. It's a very basic cleanser, and that's what I like about it because my skin doesn't need a lot. And personally, I tend to notice that when I'm using a lot of stuff on my skin, I tend to have more problems. So I really simplified this routine at one point, which was better for me and my ADHD brain anyway. That being said, so this is my cleanser. So my morning routine basically is wash my face with warm water and this, and then I put on this Eucerin Daily Protection Lotion every single day. Some days I will get up and I will just put this lotion on my face without washing my face if my face is particularly dry. In the winter, that happens a lot, where I just feel like if I washed my face, it would feel too stripping or my skin would feel really, really dry. So instead I use this. And this is just broad spectrum SPF 30. It has a pretty intense white cast, so this might not be best for someone who has a darker skin tone than me. To be honest, like, this makes me look a little pale, which is saying something, especially right now where I'm really, really washed out in this lighting. But also Also, by the way, I'm not wearing any makeup right now, and part of the reason is so you guys can kind of see what this does for me. Yeah, so this is the very, very basic, this is like the most basic you can get. Actually, the most basic you can get is just putting this on every day. If you get up in the morning and you put sunscreen on, you're probably doing better than most people are doing for their skin at this point. I also have this, which is, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the name of this lotion. It's one of the ones that the doctor prescribed to me. I use it in between cleansing and putting on the sunscreen. It's just like something to kind of help prevent acne from forming. That was what he told me about it. So yeah, so obviously this is something you can only get if you go and get it prescribed to you by a doctor. So, which is why I'm not like, this isn't necessary. This is just something that I personally need because I was having trouble with my skin. And when I don't use it for a long period of time, my acne starts to come back. So I just kind of continue to use it. And my doctor was awesome. And when I lost my health insurance, like right before I did, I contacted him and he prescribed me like a bunch of it. I guess he like just said that, like I was using it on a larger area or something like that. So I managed to pick up like, I have like a few bottles of this in its store as well. So just keep it in a cool, dark place if you end up on something like this. Yeah, so that's that. So basic routine is just this. This is an additional thing that I do because my doctor recommended it to me. Now, nighttime is a little bit more important when it comes down to it. And because of that, a lot of times people will have entirely different products for their nighttime routine. That being said, I don't think that works very well for people with ADHD. So I use the same cleanser in the morning and at night. This is, like I said, just a very basic cleanser. It's not overly stripping and it's not going to make you feel dry and like tight. So because of that, I'm able to use this twice. I would not recommend using the salicylic acid cleanser, which I'll put a picture of somewhere in this video. The salicylic acid cleanser tended to heavily dry me out, but if you're more oily than me, that might be fine for you. So like those are two good cleanser options if you're like looking for cleansers. And you can get these at like Target, which is nice. And this is a value size one. But either way, I just really quickly wash my face with this. Sometimes I will let it sit on my face for a little bit just to let I've been told that helps like your hyaluronic I've been told if you let it sit on your face for like 30 seconds, it helps that hydrating ingredient that I can't pronounce absorb into your skin a little bit better. So sometimes I'll just like chill with like this on my face for like 30 seconds at night before I go to bed. And then at night, I put on this CeraVe facial moisturizing lotion. It's their PM one that has niacinamide in it. I have been told that niacinamide is really good for like brightening your skin. Like, I think it makes it look glowy and nice is the idea behind it. I know so much about skincare, guys. Can you tell? This is why I'm saying like this is not advice on what products to use. It's just a really simple routine for you guys to use. So if you're just cleansing and you do want to cleanse at night, cleansing at night is a little bit more important just because it gets all of the stuff that might get stuck in your pores and gets it off before you go to bed. Kind of like how brushing your teeth is a little bit more important before you go to bed because it gets everything off of your teeth so it's not like sitting on there and like festering overnight. Very similar thing. At least that's what my dentist told me. Anyway, so I will just use the cleanser and then I'll use this when I'm being really, really calm with my skin. And then once a week, roughly now, I also do use this retinol cream that my doctor prescribed to me. Now, here's the thing about this. And you can buy over-the-counter retinols as well, so that's why I'm gonna say this. My doctor told me to just start using this every day, and it made my skin feel like paper and like it was going to tear when I touched it. It made my skin very, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It made my skin very delicate. It felt like my skin was rice paper. And so because of that, I would actually recommend that if you start using a retinol, maybe start slower than I did. But like my doctor said it was fine. I don't know what's going on there, but he actually did say if it bothered me that I should start using it like every other day, and if it still bothered me to use it every third day. So like now I'm using it about once a week because that seems to be all I really need for it. And sometimes I'll use it like twice a week if I'm starting to form some like acne, like if I'm starting to feel some stuff under my skin, I'll use this. But I use it between the cleanser and the moisturizer. And the reason for that is this dries the heck out of your skin, so you want to use a moisturizer afterwards. This does have some moisturizing elements in it, but like, and most like over-the-counter retinols come in like what is like a retinol lotion. So it's just a really like light lotion that allows you to kind of get a little bit of moisture in as you're putting the retinol on, because retinol tends to be very drying. So that's the nighttime routine. And so these routines, like I said, are intended to be just very clean, very simple. Clean as in like simple, not clean as in like all natural. Anyway, I'm gonna put that down. Hold on. I'll just, okay. So like I said, this routine is intended to be really, really simple. I wanted to keep it very bare bones. But that being said, those are the two routines I use. I want to talk a little bit because skincare isn't just about your face. And in fact, when I use a lot of the skincare, I bring it down my neck and onto my chest, mostly because I get acne on my chest sometimes and my shoulders. So I'll do my shoulders too. Obviously, I do that in the shower. So what I'll do is I keep this on my counter in a place that is close enough to me that if I forget to put it in my shower before I get in the shower, I can just reach and grab it. But I use this in the shower. I'll use a good amount of it and I'll get all down my face. I'll get into my eyebrows because I tend to get acne in my eyebrows, which is frustrating. It's uncomfortable. But yeah, so I'll get it all up in my eyebrows, I'll get it all the way down my chest and onto my my shoulders, and just kind of, you know, get everything cleansed really well. Then for my body, I use a CeraVe. It's in a tub. I didn't grab it because it's wet right now because my shower is wet because I showered. Anyway, but yeah, it's like the CeraVe in a tub. I'll put a picture of it. It's got like a pump on it, but I use that right after I shower. I have very sensitive skin, and because of that, I have to do like, so I have like a whole thing after I shower with my skin, specifically the skin on my legs. So I shower, I wash myself with only face wash. I don't use a body wash. I don't use this. Pro tip, actually. So if you ever buy a face product, like a wash-off product that doesn't work well for your face for some reason, a lot of times the skin on your body is less sensitive than on your face. So instead of throwing that product out or passing that product on, something that you can do is just plop that face wash in your shower and use it as body wash, which is what I've been doing for a while. I accidentally bought a Cetaphil, their like basic cleanser, but it has fragrance in it, which really bothers the skin on my face, but it's not as bothersome on the skin on my body. So I will use that to wash like my legs and my arms and my underarms and like all up in there. And so I use that as like a body wash. And then I will use the CeraVe lotion, which is like the CeraVe in a tub, and it's like real thick and heavy. I put that on, and this is where it gets weird. I put that on while I'm still wet, and then I let it sit on my skin for a little while and absorb, and then I pat my skin dry, because otherwise I will get so painfully dry and itchy that I will go insane. That is my only explanation for that. So because of that, and because I have that skin sensitivity, and even like now I'm a pretty itchy person, I have to put lotion on pretty regularly. So when I'm out of the shower, I tend to use the Aveeno daily lotion without the fragrance in it, to just kind of like, if my arms are getting itchy or whatever, to throw some lotion on. So just keep in mind that like skincare is not just about your face. Like, yes, getting rid of your acne could be really important to you, because I know how uncomfortable it can feel when you have like a lot of acne, especially being someone who didn't deal with that as a teenager and then was suddenly dealing with it as like a 20-something. The point is that skincare isn't just about your face. Taking care of your skin is really important. It is the largest organ on your body. Largest organ in your body? Anyway, not gonna unpack that right now, but it is an organ. You absorb things through your skin. It's important to wash it. It's important to give it some moisture. And if you're having skin sensitivity issues, I would say go 100% as someone who has dealt with that sort of thing. Slim down your skincare routine. I will guarantee slimming it down will help you narrow down what was bothering it and maybe figure out an actual solution. If you have access to healthcare, going to see a dermatologist and talk to them about the problems you're having is always a great option. I think my actual visit to the dermatologist was like $60 on my insurance, and then each of the prescriptions were like $10. You know, if you have that access to that healthcare, you can go and do that and, you know, have, you know, some prescription things that might help you out if you're really, really struggling. And also in general, like my doctor was the one who said, like, I was already using the CeraVe salicylic acid because I was was having those acne troubles, but he was actually the one that said, okay, keep using that, but if your skin starts to feel too dry, get the hydrating one. And I was like, okay. So sometimes you'll go in there and they'll just suggest things like over the counter too, which can be just like really helpful because they know a lot more about the ingredients and like what's in them and what could help what you're actually having a problem with. And they can also prescribe you stuff like Accutane. Sorry, I'm gonna have to tell the Accutane story now. But yeah, so they can prescribe you things like Accutane as well if that is the route that you want to go. Yeah, so, and like, just like the ADHD medication, we are a pro medication household here. So if you do feel like Accutane is the route you want to go and you do want to take that medication, that's something you're going to have to get through a dermatologist anyway, and they can help you out with that. And even to the point where like they offered it to me and my acne was not that serious. You know, that's something to keep in mind. Just content warning, trigger warning for talking about pregnancy real quick. But just a heads up, if you do go on Accutane, a lot of times they make you sign and talk about getting pregnant and the effects of getting pregnant while you are on Accutane. So if that's something that's going to be triggering to you, just be prepared for that before you go and talk to your dermatologist about it if you are planning on going on it. So just a heads up. Actually, I know of a really good video talking about someone's experience on Accutane. It's from Swell Entertainment. She did a really good job just kind of breaking down her experiences on it, so I'll link that down below for you guys. She talks a little bit more in depth about the things she had to sign and the conversations she had to have around pregnancy so that you have like maybe an idea of what is going on when you get into it. Yeah. That is my suggested skincare routine for someone with ADHD. This is a really short video. I hope you guys don't mind. But it is really, really important. And I think a lot of us with ADHD who struggle with keeping routines and doing things like this can really benefit from a video like this that is just centered around, here is a routine that will work well for someone with ADHD. Also, I will link down below the video from Swell Entertainment about Accutane. I will also link a video about sunscreen for people who have darker skin tones. But yeah, so I'll link both those videos down below. If you guys have any questions about my experiences with either of the products I have, I guess I should try and read you the names of these prescription products. Clindamycin, phosphate lotion. We're just gonna hold this up to the camera so you guys can see the title. This one's much easier to pronounce, but Trentinoin cream. But if you, yeah, okay, we're gonna hold this one up too. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about my experiences with those prescription products, I'm happy to tell you about them. And then other than that, I guess the word of the day is going to be, let's go with skincare. Because that feels like the obvious choice. I didn't script this, but let's go with skincare, and you can just comment the word skincare down below. That really helps me out with engagement, but that's the word of the day today. Thank you for watching. Here are other places that you can follow me. If you're gonna follow me on TikTok, just a heads up, I mostly talk about Dungeons and Dragons and Critical Role on there, as well as other things. But if you're interested, these are other places you can follow me. That being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone who has ADHD finds a skincare routine that works really well for you. And just remember, doing it once a week is better than not doing it at all. So what little you do, what little works for you is always okay as well. Have a good one. Bye, guys. Oh! They would say things that made me feel bad on accident. Probably have to cut that, but just venting about it. Anyway.